Why does one need the Rebbe to connect to Hashem?
So the truth is, this question is a very, very long and involved question, but we'll just try and give at least the points of it. The idea of connecting to Hashem through the tzaddik is not something which was created by Chassidus or in our time, but it was created ever since the Eibishter gave the Torah to the Jewish people. And let's look at that story just so we can understand what it is. When Hashem gave the Torah to the Jewish people, He said the word Anochi, and the neshamas left their bodies. Every word Hashem was saying, their souls left their bodies. So they came to Moshe Rabbeinu and they said, Daber ato imanu v'nishma, you speak to us so we can hear it, and let not Hashem speak directly to us, for we shall then die. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Heitivu kol asher diberu, it's proper what the people asked for, and this is the way it should be. And as Moshe Rabbeinu later said, Anochi oimed bein Hashem uveinechem, I was the one standing between Hashem and you to bring down the word of Hashem. In the words of Chassidus, the way Chassidus explains it, is we know that a memutza, a middleman between a Jew and Hashem, is like Avodah Zarah. It's forbidden. Because a Jew is not allowed to look at anything as having an importance other than Hashem. What's a Rebbe and a tzaddik, and starting from Moshe Rabbeinu, Chassidus, it explains that it's not a memutza hamafsik, it's not a middleman, an intermediary that separates, but rather a memutza hamechaber, an intermediary which connects. And what does that mean? If we'll take it by an example, if a person pours from a barrel into a cup, and then from the cup into another cup, that's called a memutza hamafsik, because he poured in the middle into another cup. If a person has a barrel, and the barrel is too big, and he wants to pour into a small cup, and so he uses a funnel, and the funnel, one side is very wide, and the other side is very narrow. And in this way, it goes from the barrel into the cup. In truth, he poured directly from the barrel into the cup. The funnel is not a middleman that took the wine and took it into a separate vessel. And it's the same thing with Moshe Rabbeinu connecting Jews to Hashem, as well as a Rebbe connecting Jews to Hashem. It's not as a memutza hamafsik, it's a memutza mechaber, which means that when Hashem created the world, He created that we should be a physical existence. And yet Hashem, you can't even call Him spiritual, He's beyond spiritual. How can our physical existence connect to Hashem? It's just like having that huge barrel, or by way of example, and of course a lot more, and pouring into the small cup. And that's why Hashem took Moshe Rabbeinu, and Hashem promised Moshe Rabbeinu that in every generation there would be a Moshe Rabbeinu who would do this. And he's like the funnel, who on one hand, he's 100% connected to Hashem because he's what we said about Moshe Rabbeinu, Ishu Elokim, and the Medrash says, Michetzi u'lemato ish, Michetzi u'lemayla Elokim. His bottom half is a person, and his top half is God. What does that mean? That means that from the spiritual sense, Moshe Rabbeinu is someone who's 100% totally given over to Hashem, to the extent that he's able to speak to Hashem, panim el panim, like it says in the Gemara, that he didn't, all the other Nevi'im, no matter what, when they had Nevuah, they couldn't stand. The Rambam writes in Hilchos Nevuah, Moshe Rabbeinu was Omed Alamdei. He stood, he was able to stand and accept and hear directly from Hashem. And yet, he was in a physical body as a human being, so he can connect to us and connect to Hashem at the same time. That brings us the ability to connect to something which is impossible seemingly to connect to. And this is why Hashem put in every generation a Rebbe, that a Rebbe does this. He connects us. He's the Oimed bein Hashem uveinechem. He's the one who on one hand, he's completely on the spiritual or even higher than spiritual level, which is 100% one with Hashem. And at the same time, he's connected to the human being and the human body, because he's able to connect to us on a physical level, and in this way to connect us to Hashem.